Tzu Chi volunteers hold distributions for sanitation and gardening workers in Changsha. With the help of researchers, farmers are growing and using microbial bacteria to protect and cultivate farmlands. Welcome to Diet Headlines. I'm Sandy Yan. Thank you for joining us. In China, Changsha Tzu Chi volunteers had planned to hold one distribution for sanitation and gardening workers. However, since the COVID-19 pandemic has worsened, volunteers have changed to many smaller distributions at mostly outdoor venues. They have helped 431 households. Let's take a look.
Before dawn, the sound of their work is like the city's tempo as it embraces daybreak.
感谢您为这个城市的美丽做贡献啦！
没事，这是我们的责任啦。
As the city awakes, one sees the cleanliness and their smiles.
辛苦了，辛苦了，谢谢了。
来到湖南，仅以虔诚祝福的心。
We have come to Hunan and deliver global Tzu Chi volunteers' care and best wishes with sincerity. Although the supplies are limited, they are imbued with Tzu Chi volunteers' love and care.
满满的关怀与爱。
As city volunteers deliver love in the winter, they also care about sanitation workers and gardening workers. They changed from holding one distribution to 19 distributions.
那么，为了避免疫情的可能性的这种蔓延
To avoid the spread of the pandemic, we have held many distributions. In the natural environment, we distribute supplies to gardening workers and sanitation workers.
环卫工人的这个寒冬送暖的发放。
The outdoor distribution venues, including under the bridge in a park or recycling station. Volunteers gave out vases, thermal bottles, and supermarket shopping carts with their best wishes.
感到很开心啊！
I feel very happy. Thank you. Thank you for caring for us.
感谢你跟你们对我们的关心啊！
I do not know your names, but I see many faces. You have been doing it for many years. I think it is not easy that you deliver supplies to sanitation workers with bowls. It makes me think that you respect the sanitation workers very much.
The kindness of sanitation workers sometimes bring luck to city residents.
刚刚是您给我送手机是吧？感谢感谢，我买了点水果，感谢你。谢谢谢谢。
就是你为什么专门买的东西过来？
因为我刚刚来的比较急，也没准备什么，还是要感谢一下这位李大哥，谢谢您啊。
Under the recent pandemic regulation, Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter kept to a strict safety measure when they hosted a private year-end blessing ceremony for the volunteers. They are also planning a virtual blessing ceremony for February, so community members can join them to pray for a better year.
Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers held their first year-end blessing ceremony this year at the Jingsi Hall in Penang. The volunteers stuck to strict pandemic safety measures, where physical social distancing was observed, but emotional social distancing was not.
We had a very small ceremony because the Jingsi Hall could only hold about 80 to 100 people, so we are unable to invite other volunteers to it.
In the past year of dealing with the pandemic, virtual meetings have become the norm, as Tzu Chi representatives of each state joined the online Dharma meeting.
With the pandemic challenging us and putting obstacles in our way, we're still able to find ways to transmit the Master's Dharma and wisdom all across the globe with technology, so that more people in corners of society can connect with Tzu Chi.
Due to the pandemic, we can't join the year-end blessing ceremony, which has made me reflect on a few things, such as not everything is a given, so we should seize the moment and treasure all we can.
Tzu Chi's blessing ceremony open to the public this year will be held virtually in the beginning of February.
We hope to gather everyone's strength and inspire kindness. Our goal is to have 100,000 people from all 9 states to join in the live stream on February 6.
Though the pandemic has set a lot of restrictions on everyone, the volunteers still insisted on personally delivering the red envelopes of blessing and wisdom to the recipients.
Everyone is still in the middle of the pandemic, so we hope our volunteers can personally deliver the red envelopes of blessings and wisdom into the hands of the people. We hope the Master's blessings can prove to be a stable force during this time.
It is hoped the blessing ceremonies will gather the well wishes of everyone, and we may all overcome this pandemic soon.
Tzu Chi's Keelung community held a 2-day year-end blessing ceremony, and more than 2,000 people attended the event. Volunteers promoted vegetarianism and plastic waste reduction vigorously, hoping that people will implement these actions in daily life.
The annual year-end blessing ceremony in Keelung was held on the weekends during the arrival of a cold front. Volunteer Liu Guanghui brings her neighbors to participate every year, and this year she still chartered a tour bus.
How many of us are there? 2 didn't come. Today there are 32 people in total. Do I charter a tour bus like this every year? Yes, every year. Because it's cold today, 2 or 3 of them didn't come.
Volunteers and members of the community are reunited at the end of the year. Of course, they had a warm reception, and in this kitchen the steam is rising, and volunteer cooks prepare dishes for the people.
Because the color of the lunchbox must be rich and wonderful. It must be presented like this, which is very beautiful and mouth-watering. Here is the main course, which is not ready-made either.
Grandma Guo Guiman, who is in her 70s, usually wakes up early in the morning to do recycling. She always participates in the year-end blessing and brings out her bamboo coin bank out of her bag to bless everyone.
I didn't live very well before, but I'm getting better and better now. My children gives me money to live, and I have enough. My donation is just a little compared to others.
The activity area is full of New Year flavor as 8 students from Ganlin Elementary School are brought by the principal to make people warm through music.
Their performance will inspire the venue and the audience. The feedback and applause will also increase the self-confidence of the children.
At the end of the year blessing ceremony, the COVID pandemic has inspired volunteers with even more motivation.
This year, because of the pandemic, I think that the entire Tzu Chi community has been inspired by Master Zheng Yan to become vegetarian. I hope that more citizens will participate and respond together.
Receiving red envelopes of blessings and wisdom from Jingse Bo Dharma masters, many have been inspired with new wishes in the new year.
Dr. Lin Yingchao from Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital carry out free clinic visits to residents in the rural township of Nanzhuang Miaoli every month. This heartwarming physician sees the free clinic as a journey of spiritual cleansing and self-improvement.
Leaving the hustle and bustle of the city is good for the heart. It has a cleansing effect. If we grow through this cleansing, we can also help treat the heart of the patient, which will become cleaner and brighter. You can wash it and get rid of the unpleasantness. In fact, if we want to maintain Grandma's health, we need to give her a better environment.
那其实环境我们可以营造，但是他的家人。
In fact, we can create a better environment for her, but her family sometimes causes her to be sad and worried. She worries about these things. We can only help her slowly. There's no way to completely change her mood.
煮饭都不会哈。
所以你在担心啊？年初啊，他的
At the beginning of the year, her grandson passed away in her home. She had several sons before, and then some of her sons passed away at other places. She doesn't only have 2 children, but a few sons have passed away, and there are only 2 left. She often talks about them. We are not there during the past, but what we can do now is to accompany her in the future and hope she can be healthy.
他说他去了。
没有，我们会照顾他们呐，好不好？我们还是会一直照顾啊。
We'll always take care of them. We'll take care of them. And I will take care of you too, so you can rest assured.
其实大部分的时间我们是听他讲，他讲一次，他心情压力
Listening
就
to
会
her talk, in fact, most of the time we just listen to her. When she talks, she will be relieved. She often keeps to herself. In fact, she is under a lot of pressure, so when we listen to her and give her some comfort, she'll feel better. In fact, she may not understand the comforting words we tell her, but when she hears our tone and our expressions, they're probably the best things we can provide to her so that she can keep going.
In recent years, local environmental groups and the Pingdong County government have promoted the use of microbial bacteria for use in farmlands. In 2016, through their continuous efforts, more and more farmers are learning the benefits of cultivating bacteria, like sowing seeds in farms.
拿起这个是我们扣配好的菌盘，要采菌。
An aseptic operation station includes sterilization pots and oscillators. This is not a laboratory, but a microbiological material cultivation project established by Pingdong County government and the Dongpian community. This was a special center established to cultivate strains by the local and national government in Taiwan.
放回去，都把它倒完。它也是直接撒在土地上，大概8分满，然后你把土壤放下去，然后晒太阳，大概1个礼拜。
Photosynthetic bacteria is an entry-level model for bacteria propagation. With RO water plus bacteria and nutrients, it can be propagated simply with sunshine. The county government cooperates with private organizations to create strongholds for microbes to penetrate farmland. Though microbes have a long history in agriculture, not everyone's a believer.
There are some people in the market who does this type of business selling it, but before, we always doubted whether it was useful.
This price is more expensive, and farmers need to pay more money to do it. But the government will provide a supply to this center so that they can use it.
Liao Liling, a PhD from the Food Industry Research and Development Institute, used to develop microbiological technology and transfer it to manufacturers for mass production. However, most farmers have to cultivate and activate these products in the field. This technical threshold was a major obstacle. Now she wants to directly give farmers more direction and instruction.
The most important thing in research is benefiting the public. Research can be interesting, and now the main thing is giving technology to farmers to make them useful.
In the past few decades, I heard that pig farmers use photosynthetic bacteria, but I never heard of it being used in agriculture. So we started to discuss with Dr. Liao how we can use this simply and find a way to promote it to the farmers.
In order to make it available to farmers, special courses have been held across Taiwan. In 3 years, more than 1,000 trainees have completed training.
重量对不对哈？不要跑掉。
Letting the farmers know what kind of materials to use, along with how to cultivate materials by himself to reduce unit cost. This was our goal.
After 6 hours in class, participants can begin to understand microorganisms, later going to the field to share their experiences with each other.
2个月、3个月来开定掉，因为你放太久，它的技术会弱化。
Chen Kunxin, a fruit grower in Chaozhou, was one of the first batch of trainees, and his friends were suspicious at the time.
I've learned a lot of EM bacteria before and how to cultivate it. Is it really as wonderful as everyone says it is?
Photosynthetic bacteria are not like chemical fertilizers or pesticides, which are effective when sprayed. After accumulating more experience in this area, he called on farmers to use good bacteria to nourish the soil.
These young people in the village share with each other and learn from each other. We discovered that the older generation would slowly keep up. We want to make the soil feel moist and fluffy. Before digging down, There is no chance of seeing earthworms. Taking care of the soil is not a matter of 1 day or 2 days. It's a matter of careful cultivation and adding some microorganisms to slowly rejuvenate the soil.
Exporting dragon fruit to Canada is a business opportunity that the epidemic cannot stop. Chen Rongting, who trained the same year, has also found bacteria useful. Through the Dawu Mountain Sustainable Development, he was able to expand and cultivate up to 3 kinds of bacteria. This has led him to reduce his pesticide usage by half and has reached standards in 3 years.
Reducing the use of pesticide leads to savings of 1/2, which is good for us.
Microorganisms strengthen soil fertility, reduce planting costs, and strengthen root systems which can reduce their risk of disease. This means that invisible microorganisms are now become the biggest helper for farmers to protect their farmland.
In the Philippines, Tzu Chis and volunteers have prepared vegetable soup to be distributed to the villagers in Ormoc Great Love Village, which was in conjunction with the World Vegetarian Awareness Day. Here's more.
Tzu Chis and volunteers in Ormoc has created a special ceremony in conjunction with the World Vegetarian Awareness Day on January 11th.
Vegetarian keeps COVID away! Go, 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 veggie! Our vegetarian keeps COVID away! Go, 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 veggie!
January 11 is World Vegetarian Awareness Day. We prepared vegetable soup and share with the local villagers. At the same time, we also promoted vegetarianism. I think this is also a way to encourage them to become a vegetarian.
Although the weather was not great and the roads were muddy, but the villagers from Ormoc Great Love Village still came out with pots and bowls to welcome the volunteers.
Today I received the fresh vegetarian soup from Tzu Chi. Actually, this is our favorite vegetables. Before we moved into the Great Love Village, we rarely eat vegetables. But now, because of Tzu Chi, our diet have changed. Because Tzu Chi volunteers encourage us to eat more vegetables so that we can stay healthy. We are very grateful for that.
A simple meal and a simple ceremony, volunteers have linked the daily lives of the villagers with vegetarianism.
In Malaysia's Johor Bahru, a volunteer adopted the vegetarian diet 2 years ago when she was participating in Tzu Chi's Water Repentance Sutra adaptation. Now with the COVID outbreak, she has changed her restaurants to selling vegetarian food.
Kwa King Moy and her husband are busy in the kitchen during meal rush hours. They used to sell meat dishes in their restaurant, but now it's just veggies and tofu.
We cook the meals for our customers with the mindset that we're cooking for ourselves.
Dishes which are filled with meat and vegetarian cuisines are vastly different. For vegetarian dishes, mainly garlic and green onions are not used, so that's something we take into consideration. Also, in terms of ingredients, we try to stay away from just soy meat and use more natural ingredients.
In 2018, Kwa joined the Water Repentance Sutra adaptation, and on top of her brother getting cancer, she decided to become a vegetarian to accumulate blessings.
When my brother's cancer came back, I went with him to a Buddhist temple, and he stayed there for a while. During that time, I ate vegetarian food with him and chanted Buddhist sutras. Tzu Chi sisters have also encouraged me to switch to vegetarian cuisines, so it seems like I have the energy behind to do so.
With the change of mindset, life is different. The restaurant turned into a vegetarian restaurant, and during COVID, they also made deliveries.
It's great. The first time there were 25 orders. At first for Lei Cha, this is the third time and there were 15 orders.
With the increase in takeouts, their vegetarian business is getting back on track. With the positive word of mouth supporting them, the two continue to head forward in the right direction.
Malaysia has recently started the stricter safety measures due to the pandemic. Before the control order was implemented, volunteers visited care recipients to repaint their house. Among them is a group of businessmen who joined the action.
Bringing paints and painting tools, several businessmen and community volunteers are going to the homes of 2 care recipients in Rifle Range to help decorate their homes.
This is our second time to cooperate with the community to help our care recipients in Rifle Range paint their homes. Today, we're very pleased to have more than 10 new businessmen join our event. As they are all big bosses or the directors of companies, most of the time they don't need to do things by themselves. But today, they come to help in person. I trust that they should have a very different feeling.
It is my first time to join this event. The thing I learned is teamwork spirit. For example, we taller people are responsible for painting the areas around the corners, while other people paint the middle part of the wall. Everyone cooperates very well.
From walls to ceiling, and from inside to outside, all businessmen and community volunteers paint every corner diligently.
We help her paint the wall, so it looks more beautiful. When she cooks here later, she'll enjoy it and will cook more delicious food.
Seeing the volunteers paint her house, the care recipient Sharifa records the process with her cell phone.
I feel very blessed and happy, so I shared it on Facebook to record what my home looked like before and after painting.
你头发都是那个啊，不管了啦，没有关系。你不怕洗不掉吗？不会啊，都来擦了好几次都没有事。
Although volunteers are stained with traces of paints, this is the mark of love and the most sincere New Year blessings for care recipients.
Every Tuesday, Tzu Chi volunteers will go to Chongyi High School in Xizhi, New Taipei City and bring vegetarian dinners to baseball athletes in the boarding program. In the recent visits, volunteers also brought the warmest gift.
What is so delicious that makes these young faces smile and finish it all without wasting any of it?
After I ate the first bite, it surprised me that it tastes almost the same as meaty food.
For 2 consecutive months, Tzu Chi volunteers come to Chongyi High School every Tuesday to bring the students a hot and delicious vegetarian dinner.
Some of our students are indigenous, among them some are Catholics or Christians, but they are still willing to receive this kindness from a different religion.
I'm grateful for these Tzu Chi volunteers coming here every week to have dinner with us. They will share some stories with us, teaching us how to cherish our blessings.
And this visit, apart from the dinner, volunteers also bring with a gift.
Because the weather is very cold and wet, we want to keep them warm. We hope to combine the love from this vegetarian food with the blankets. So with these double warmth, they will feel full of love.
Because it may not be so convenient for us to bring clothes from our home. So when I sleep at night, I just cover my whole body with something, but I still feel cold. The blanket keeps me warm and I feel very touched.
These 60 blankets have made this group of baseball teammates who are staying at school feel a bit warmer in this winter.
We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. See you next time.